I'd say it's worth it, but it's up to you guys at the end of the day. Now, it depends on where you are currently in the game, whether you're an endgame player, a new player, or a mid-game player, but there's like different stages to this. If you're an endgame player, there isn't like a whole lot you can do. Like, there is stuff you can do, like you can farm for Mystic here, which that's going to take a super long amount of time, and it is optional because you don't have to do it. You can try to max out at least one class. It will take a while, but it is doable. But apart from that, there isn't really too much to do endgame content wise, because D15 is pretty much a joke unless you're trying to get the new mastery items, or like I said, if you're trying to farm Mystic gear. If you're a new player, you have so much to do, and you can just make a ton of progress super quickly. If you're a mid-game player, you can consider going for Mystic gear, or you can be at the stage where you're just collecting certain resources, wait for that right update, and I'm sure they'll have a certain resource that everybody's gonna need, so then you can just start selling that. I don't know what that might be, but it could be anything. Could be deep stone for all I know, but I guess we won't really know for sure until we get an update. And around the time last year, this is when we got an update. This is when we got gear crafting, and I do believe we're gonna get an update very soon. I just don't know what kind of update, but I guess in terms of gameplay, everything's probably gonna stay the same. Like, if it's a new class, we've already been there, done that. Same with gems, same with gear. I would say it would be pretty nice if they actually reworked Geode and Delve specifically, just changing things up, because I don't know, in my opinion, it just seems very boring, not fun at all. You move slowly, it takes way too long to get your weeklies done. I think that for sure needs a change. And apart from that, I'm pretty sure they're gonna do like quick cash grabs and stuff like that, like new packs, maybe some stuff in the Curiosity Cat. But overall, the game itself is pretty much the same mechanic wise. If you are a returning player, there is a lot of things that have changed, so it's definitely worth checking out. I think with how Trove is currently, it's really good to play just casually. You could grind it for as much as you can, but then you're gonna get kind of stuck behind some time gated stuff like Empower Gems. I'm sure a lot of you guys need Empower Gems, specifically a 3-star and then potentially one with the correct ability that you want. And right now, content wise, newer players are able to catch up to endgame players fairly quickly. It kind of just depends on how much you're willing to grind, if you know what you're doing, and if you have the flux for it. So that's why I kind of mentioned the casual player thing. There isn't really too much in this game that you can just go all out and just grind for. You can, but I don't think you're gonna find it as fun. You might get burnt out really quickly. I still stand by that it's worth playing Trove in 2025. I'm not sure if the game will get better, but I do think we're gonna get a new update. At least eventually we'll get to the point where Mystic gear becomes a little bit easier to farm. Not sure when that's gonna be, not sure if we're gonna get new gems anytime soon or just anything like that. I really hope things like that stay the same. I just want there to be like new content in the game that's like unrelated to what we have going on, if that makes sense. But when I say unrelated, I'm not talking about like the mana stuff, because that was just completely random. Just has its own mastery stuff, kind of like its own little thing. But I think Trove could do something related to like not Shadow Towers exactly, but Shadow Towers have like their own little portal. At least back in the day, you went through like certain objectives, then eventually you got to the main big boss. And then with Delves, you do an objective, you go to the boss room, kind of do your thing there, and then we have the Geode Caves. So we have these three things. It would be nice if they created something else related to that, something that ties everything in together. I don't know what that could be. I'm not part of the dev team, so I'm not going to come up with an idea on the spot, but just an idea. I think that'd be really good for people to come back to Trove, because it'd be something interesting if they made the content related to like what we have currently going on. I guess I'll just give one example. The main issue I see with newer players, there's a few things that I see, but the main thing that I do notice is that they get a 2-star Empower Gem. It might be the right ability, but they can't use it because it's a 2-star and they need a 3-star. So I feel like we can have like a separate thing that could get us like a specific resource, maybe gets us an extra star for that Empower Gem so we can actually use that. I think it would be helpful. It would make it so more people actually continue playing the game, because I feel like people will enjoy Trove, play it for as much as they can. They get stuck behind something, it gets really annoying. I've been in that situation where I was trying to get like a specific color for an Empowered Gem, a 3-star, and it just wouldn't happen. So at least this way, that's like one RNG system kind of out of the way, you don't have to deal with. But like I said, just an example. Curious on what you guys think though. And I do have to say, Trove is really fun. Like, even though we make fun of it all the time, like the servers are laggy, the devs are questionable, I don't know if we have devs, stuff like that. Everything's like a quick cash grab. The game itself is fun. It has the potential to be really fun. And even though I'm an endgame player, I still enjoy playing it. Sure, it's really annoying not making much progress getting towards Mystic gear and stuff like that, but it's still something to do, and I also enjoy helping out you guys, so that's something that I'll continue doing. And if you guys ever don't know what to do in Trove, feel like you can't progress, you can always just help out somebody new. I'm sure there's somebody at the hub, maybe in the novice world, they probably won't know how to use the in-game chat feature, but I'm sure you can find somebody and just help them out, maybe do some dungeons with them or something. Because the other thing is that people kind of struggle doing D14 farming for gems. That's when you can get the crystal gems, so I think that's fun. Also, another thing that could be fun is you can start farming for certain resources. Even though you won't progress power rank or mastery wise collecting that certain resource, you can eventually just collect so many you can start selling them in bulk, because I'm sure there's going to be some kind of buyer. I don't know what that might be that you want to farm. It could be enchanted wood, Could be Somber Souls, doesn't really matter. Pretty decent for Flux. So you could just be like a Flux guru and maybe help out some newer players that are kind of struggling with like ways to make some Flux, stuff like that. I'd like to think that Trove is going to continue on for as long as possible. I don't know if I'm going to continue playing it forever. We'll see if it ever gets to the point where I'm going to call it quits. I don't think that's going to happen because I still enjoy it personally. But yeah, I think Trove has enough stuff in the game where it's definitely worth playing, especially if you're like a returning player, because a lot of stuff has changed. So you can check out all the content that you might have missed. If you are an endgame player, I do understand that there might not be a ton of things to farm for, so it makes sense that it's not worth playing. But if you're new, if you're a mid-game player, or even if you like helping out the people in the community, I'd say it's worth playing. But I do want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments down below. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, or if you find yourself coming back, and I'll see you all later.